Alright, so it's May 15th now. Another new day has dawned, and also I apologize in advance for how my voice sounds because I was just checking if my microphone was turned on. But yeah, I apologize in advance for how my voice sounds because I actually have the colds right now. So yeah, if my voice sounds weird, so sorry about that. But yeah, we have a brand new day after, you know, that horrific previous day that we had. We lost a total of 4 people, or 4 villagers, from just one day. So yeah, I woke up at 5 in the morning. The window was still boarded up, so I couldn't see anything outside. All I could do was sit around and wait. Eventually, I could hear the objects keeping me in get removed, and I was greeted by Yosunaga Oribe and Chiemi Serizawa. Those 2 actually survived. Well, surprise, surprise. I met up with Haru Makishima too. Her face was pale and she had bags under her eyes. No one here looked healthy anymore, but she was beyond even that point. She'd gone completely meek too. Defiance from yesterday was gone and she was just letting Yasunaga-kun guide her. She'd lost another friend after all, and someone I think that she's actually really close with, you know, regardless of the fact that Mochi is, well, quite weird than most people in this game is, or are. We arrived at the dining hall but found no one there. The door was unlocked. That was a bad sign. It was Kanzo Makishima's place all over again.
Haha.
Yes, let's hope that she really is just sleeping, you know, normally and it isn't, you know, an eternal rest. With that knowledge, I opened the door. What if she was attacked? Even if she wasn't, considering her state yesterday, it wasn't unlikely she did something unthinkable, such as suicide. However, I soon found out my worries were for nothing. Oh, thank God for that. Kaori-san was standing all alone in the dark dining hall, wearing an apron. The fact that she wasn't doing anything but standing was just eerie. Look at how much her face has changed in just the course of an entire day. Given that, you know, it's understandable that with what happened, you know, to her son, but still, you'd think she'd try to at least pull it together because she has a responsibility of feeding everyone in the village while this whole curse is going on. She turned around and greeted us. Her voice was the only thing calm about her. Her eyes were bloodshot and signs of malnourishment were all across her face. Her faint, forced smile made her seem on the verge of collapse. She completely failed at acting normal. Her heart was probably swirling with panic and sorrow as great as yesterday. Everyone here could see it. Well, at least Yasunaga knows how to prepare food. I don't think you should be anywhere near the kitchen, Kaori. Well, that's a surprise. I thought that she doesn't know how to cook because all she has been giving, you know, Harouki or ramen cup noodles. After they volunteered to support Kaori-san, I thought about what purpose I could serve here.
Nico.
Let's go where? And called to Haru-chan before going outside. What would you want with Haru-chan? Are you gonna confront her about how strange she has been acting? Or are you two just gonna go and stand there quietly? She came with me but wasn't saying a word. During yesterday's feast, she'd had a fight with Kaori-san. The woman had voted for Haru-chan due to the change in her attitude and failed escape attempt, and I couldn't blame her for that. Considering her personality, I imagined that the exchange had been extremely intense. That was why getting her out of the dining hall was a good move. Problem was, we didn't really have anything to talk about. This was made worse by the hostility she'd shown me until just recently. According to Mochi, that was a product of her affection toward Yasunaga-kun and all the drama surrounding him. Normally, I'd playfully give her a hard time about that kind of thing, but it'd seem in poor taste considering the situation. Well, at least you're not as bad as a protagonist as Max from Root Letter. He wouldn't have thought of that if he were in your shoes. She was staring daggers at me. Maybe I just had to ask her?
牧島春さん
Wow, that's so polite.
何ですか？
担当直入に聞くの
Straight to the point, too.
違うわよ。
She didn't hesitate at all. Not like that meant anything.
何よ、納得いかないの？じゃあ、匠兄に調べてもらうわよ。それではっきりするでしょ。
That will take another day because, as far as I remember, Takumi wasn't gonna check you? I think he was gonna check someone else? Or did I completely forgot about that?
気づいて言ってるのか
は？何も。
彼が生きていれば食堂で香織さんを介抱してるのは彼だったはずだ。昨日も彼は起きてすぐ食堂に行っていた。香織さんが弱っている今、そうすべき理由はさらに強まった。
Oh.
でも彼はいない。
So maybe Takumi's the one who got killed off by the wolves?
嘘でしょ。
Maybe he's just, making rounds or something.
それを今から調べに行くから案内して。
Because that would be a great blow against the humans if Takumi is indeed the one that was attacked by the wolves overnight.
タイバー、起きてる？
Haru knocked on the door and tried to open it, but it was locked, meaning it wasn't touched. Tai-san came out sooner than later. She looked pretty displeased to begin with, but upon seeing me, she displayed outright disgust.
どうしてあんたが来なさったね。
すみません。香織さんの具合が悪くて人手が足りず。
匠はどうした？
That's what we're wondering about as well, Ba-chan.
今から見に行きます。
そうね。
She seemed so resigned, but at the same time, she still has that distrust aimed at our protagonist, which is, again, understandable given the state of things, but her gloomy expression told me she'd realized what might have happened. She said she had to prepare, so we excused ourselves.
必要なものがあったら言ってくださいね。
How very nice of you.
はいはいはい。
And how very dismissive of her. She shut the door on us.
女なら誰にでも優しいんですね。
Except maybe you? What the hell was she saying?
お年寄りと女性を思いやるのが紳士ってものだろ。
I wonder though, are you really Harouki?
知恵姉もそうなの？
彼女にはそれなりに好意を持ってる。
Well, at least he's pretty honest about it.
やめてよ。兄ちゃんがかわいそう。
Ni-chan? Yasunaga-kun, surely?
かわいそうとは？
よし君ももっちーも死んじゃって、兄ちゃんには香織さんと知恵姉しかいないのよ。
What about you?
それに知恵姉は私らの中で一番強くて、上藤吉の奴らや大人たちからいつも私らを守ってくれた。
I feel like I should say that she should also try to step up, but I feel that I don't really know much about her as a character that maybe saying that and, with conviction while playing this at this moment in this recording is in poor taste. But with how Haru is acting, it's like she really tries to tick you off,
私らから
So you kind of understand where she's getting from. So that's how it was. I wasn't sure how she actually felt about Shiemi, but there was definitely more trust and reliance than I'd expected. Yasunaga-kun spoke like he'd given up on Shiemi, but deep down, he was actually glad she had returned. Haru-chan was aware of that, and she actually liked Chiemi. That was why she concluded that they should be together. However, it was clear she didn't feel like giving them her blessing, which complicates things more than it should. The end result depended on Chiemi, and since she hated Yasumizu, I felt like it wouldn't be something Haru-chan wanted. Then again, I really didn't know what was going on in Chiemi's head either, and I had no idea who'd survive, so making predictions was a waste of time. True that.
とにかく今
Anyone
は
can die in this game.
宴を終わらせるという一点に集中すべきだ。僕には大したことができないかもしれないが、身内に話しづらいことでもあれば、相談には乗るよ。
Will she talk to you though?
何それ。
いや、何ってこともないけど、君は
Yes,
悩みが多
just
そう
straight
だ
out
し。
say that she's been acting strange, and that's what everyone is basically suspicious of her.
あと、外に逃げるって選択、僕はまだありだと思ってる。
No. Let's not try that again because of what happened. Because we got the fourth bad ending.
それは無理よ。
ん？君は可能性にかけて逃げ
You
たんじ
also
ゃないの
tried
かい？
yourself, Harouki.
でも逃げられなかったじゃない。だから分かった。逃げるなんてできないの。
You know, I'm really excited to finish the game and play the sort of the new game that you unlock when you complete the entire game, because you are given the perspective of each of the characters you meet. So I'm kind of curious what's really going on in Haru Makishima's mind at this particular time.
それはたまたま怪我をしたからじゃ。
It wasn't an accident, was it?
たまたまなんかじゃない。
Can you expound? Are you not gonna ask, Haruaki?
君も神様を信じてるのか？
何を聞いた？
What's with the sudden change of expression?
そんなものいない。そう考えなきゃやってられない。
God doesn't exist. If I doubted that, I couldn't cope with anything. So you're basically not believing the same thing that Chiemi is? There was a weird aura around her for a second, but then she walked away, leaving me no choice but to follow her. Oh! Meiko, the sheep! We arrived at the houses. The mysterious girl was on the verge of crying.
おはよう。どうしたの？
Maybe the fact that she's alone in the middle of what feels like nowhere with how thick the fog is.
はっきり喋りなさいよ。喋れるでしょ。
Yes, we don't speak sheep. But try not to scare her.
はい。
The
おは
little
ようござ
girl,
います。
Haru. Okay. This was hopeless. Haru-chan glared at her while I stayed patient.
リカコさんは？
お姉ちゃん
Finally, an actual word.
うん。どこ？
出てこない。
Okay, now I'm kind of worried about her too, but you know, between Meiko, I'm gonna be honest, between Meiko and Mochi, I would have preferred that Mochi stayed alive because he was pretty useful and he did, you know, try to help us out.
ここよ。あいつの家。
What's with that look, Haru? It really was. I'd been here yesterday. I knocked and called out to her. There was no response. Haru-chan and I looked at each other and I tried opening the door. Huh? It was locked.
リカコさん！
Maybe you shout louder? Still no response. I hesitantly put my ear against the door. I heard some sort of rustling sound.
多分、着替え中か何かだろう。
Probably.
じゃあ、やっぱり。
まだわからない。まだ清之助しかもしれない。
私がどうした？
Wishful thinking, people. Wishful thinking. Well, I did expect him to leave Although, and I think most of us here would agree that we would rather see him not actually make it through another day. But yeah, I have a feeling that he's gonna make it through to the end because characters like this one actually does. Who knows,
あ
probably.
なたはそればっかりですね。一応大丈夫そうですよ。まだ出てきてないですが、どうかしたんですか？
Yes, that is rather curious.
嫌な予感がしてな。気憂ならいい。しかしそうなると、死んだのは山脇老人か？
ダイバーは生きてた。
Wishful thinking on his part.
なんだと？
Why was he so positive?
はるちゃんはメイコを連れて食堂へ。清之助さん、手を貸してください。
Ah, he didn't like that. He tried to say something but decided against it. He must have realized what had happened to the one who'd usually be given these annoying jobs. As expected, the door to his house was unlocked. And the reek of fresh blood was so strong you could smell it outside. Damn. I thought that was enough to help me prepare. But once I saw the source, I couldn't keep down what few contents my stomach had left. The two from the first day, Kanzo Makishima and Yoshitsugu Oribe, they'd lost all semblance of form to the point their corpses felt unrealistic. On the other hand, Chikamochi Kamoshida and the old wolf guy's corpses were far too clean. Their faces were still intact after all. However, Takumi Muro-san's corpse was an even balance between ruined and intact. It was spread out on the floor, surrounded by splashes and splotches of blood, as well as some bloody footprints. Scattered brain, gray matter, bone fragments, eyes. Ugh, that's so disgusting to imagine. About 60% of his face was gone. How could you even tell that it was 60%? Like, what kind of mindset would you have in order to gauge that that's how much of a face he has left? This time, the method was clear. There was a rifle lying right next to his corpse. The weapon was actually on the scene for once, and it was a gun. What did it mean? I wanted to think about that, but I was too shaken by the clear agony Takumi-san's death had brought him. You could see his suffering on the still present half of his face. His hands were on his head too, just one, as if to cover his face or reach for the clearly fatal wound. He died while holding on to his shattered brain. Though fatal, you have to give props to how gory they tried to make the description of each death. Because if you have an overactive imagination, you wouldn't want to go read these stuff. Though fatal, the first attack hadn't killed him instantly. He could still move after it, which was a testament to his strength and willpower. Of course, he didn't want to die. His mindset was that he wanted to, protect the villagers. He was willing to do everything he could to protect the villagers. His life had ended as he suffered overwhelming despair. It was written all too clearly on his death visage. My emotions bubbled and overwhelmed my thoughts, and I vomited once again. Definitely not. You guys aren't okay too, because now you have lost the one person who can determine whether or not a person is a wolf, each night. So it just kind of throws every single tactic that these guys had, with Takumi at the center of it, right out of the window. Kyonosuke asked, clearly avoiding looking at it himself.
誰か銃の扱いがわかる人を連れてきてください。
That would probably be the killer. I never expected you to come along. Her expression was too stern and serious for me to even say that.
匠兄ちゃん。
You can say that again? She cursed and looked at the gun.
これ、肝臓じいちゃんのライフル。
She grasped its long body and picked it up.
5発全弾撃ち切ってる。空薬莢落ちてる。
5? How could anyone not have heard that?
探す。
I found them real quick. They were covered in blood and flesh. But yeah, I found the metallic cylinders. 5 of them. They were 2 meters away from the corpse, very close to one another. Either the culprit fired from there or gathered them afterwards. Yeah, you would have to wonder why they would gather, you know? If it was the latter, why exactly would they do that? If not trying to get a rile out of the villagers?
見て、握りの部分。
What about the handle? Chiami extended the rifle to me. I did as told. Compared to the rest of the gun, which had blood on every part, the handle was clean, like it had been wiped.
指紋を拭き取った。
かもね。
Smart wolves are smart. Chiami then held it like she was about to shoot and aimed at Takumi-san's body.
ここから撃ってる。
How could you tell?
どうしてわかる？
Yes, my point exactly.
血の飛び散り方。
Ah,
あっちに向かって勢いよく飛んでるでしょ。かなり低い角度で撃った証拠。
like how would Chiami know this? Is she also working for CSI?
それに、普通のライフルはかなり至近距離でもないと、こういう風にめちゃめちゃな傷にはならない。
5 bullets feels like an overkill though.
かといって、銃口を押し付けて撃ったら、いろんなものが跳ね返って銃口がもっと汚れてるはず。
And that was why it was natural to think it had been fired from where she was standing, near the cartridges. Okay, so no, when the culprit didn't actually gather all of the cartridges and place them in one spot. It was natural. It naturally occurred as they fired the gun.
狙って当たるもの？
If you're pretty good at it,
ちゃんと狙い方を知っていることと、対象が動いていないこと。これが揃えば大丈夫。
ということは、銃が使えるものの。
Chiami. Chiami's our culprit.
ちなみに、照準から小生を除く。それだけ。銃って誰でも簡単に人を殺せる便利な道具なんだよ。
I beg to disagree. I don't think anyone or everyone could just pick up a gun and just decide to kill somebody. That would take some mentally disturbed thinking and mentally disturbed person to think that anyone can murder anyone.
弾の装填
You
と
know,
かは
just like that.
その辺の一般人に渡してすぐにできるとは思えない。
I wouldn't know. I don't use guns. You know, outside of video games.
タエバーちゃんあたりなら撃ったことあるだろうし。
Really?
休みずないで選別
Are you
は。
saying every single person in that village knows how to fire a gun? This was a settlement where the people went hunting. Oh, okay. Basically, everyone here must have touched rifles before. That explains things. All we could really assume was that Meiko-chan couldn't have done this. Well, that would be, you know, rather surprising if it was actually Meiko who was doing all the killing.
そもそも全弾命中してるわけじゃない。どうやら1発は耳に、2発は胸と肩に。
Where?
ここにも
Where is the
弾痕。
bullet hole? She pointed at a small part of the floor that was ruined.
頭部に当たったのは一発だけか。
And one is all you actually need if you're going for a headshot.
そうだね。もしかしたらそれは致命傷じゃなくて、胸の一発がとどめだったのかも。
Really? She looked at the body's pose and made the same conclusion as me.
ちなみに、なんでそんなに詳し
Yes,
いの？
I would like to know that as well. Why do you know so much about guns, Chiami?
私も狩猟免許持ってる。銃も罠も網も全部使える。
Well, aren't you the hunter?
外ではクレー射撃何度も行ったし、それなりに慣れてるよ。
Yes, you're the culprit.
なんと、すごいな。
So be very careful, Harouki. Don't piss her off.
まあね。
いずれ戻って、ここで漁師になるつもりだったの？
銃を持ちたかった。それだけ。
Why? What do you need a gun for? She said that as if it was no big deal. Her tone seemed kinda dangerous.
ええ。まあ、人を殺しかけたりとか。
And that is a perfect time for Harouki to have that flashback.
中学の時かな。
安水の子らをいじめてた分校の上級生ら
So basically, we should really be careful of Chiemi. It was the impression you'd get from a girl capable of random acts of violence. I was probably jumping to conclusions, though.
もう片付けてもいいかな。
春明さんがいいなら。
じゃあ片付ける。
Yes.
何か分かった？
Why are you curious?
一連の殺人が人間の犯行だってことに確信を持っただけ。
That's interesting. And also, if we're gonna go back to, you know, the first bad ending that we got, the first time we played through the game to get that bad ending, where Harouki died and we saw that image of the wolf. If we go back to the epilogue of that, with the whole townspeople seeming to be in cahoots if it was happening, you'd have to wonder what really is going on in this village. If there really is anything, what do you call this? Anything supernatural going on. If there are really wolves, or people are just pretending to be wolves in order to satiate their bloodlust. The culprit used a gun and wiped off the fingerprints, acts that demonstrated a very human level of cunning. If we were up against something supernatural, they'd just use their mysterious powers instead. If something mysterious can be explained using mundane means, then it was caused by mundane means. That was a general rule I lived by, proven through both knowledge and first-hand experience. What kind of first-hand experience would you have, Harouki, in order to come up with something like that? Supernatural powers that require carrying out occult rituals were prime examples of things it applied to. The more detailed the preparation required, the more opportunities to notice something amiss. If the trick relied on concealing the method, it was safe to assume the method was something mundane. Even this death wasn't caused by some kind of supernatural force. It just happened unobserved. We had people who could do it and the methods that fit. That was the best way to look at it, right?
そうかもね。
認めるんだ。
That readily?
多分殺してるのは
Do
私の
you have anyone in mind, Chiemi? I'm quite curious.
紛れもない人と思うよ。
でもそれは。
Didn't that go against her whole God story? I wanted to ask that, but seeing her eyes made me fall silent. Her eyes were wide and cloudy. Something is definitely up with Chiemi.
でもね、
But her lips let out clear words.
神様からは
I looked away. I probably wanted to cover my ears too.
誰も逃げられないんだよね。
Well, that's true, but what does that mean in the context of what just happened and what you guys were talking about? I found her words so irrational, it began to frighten me. I asked Chiemi to call Kyonosuke to help carry the corpse, but she insisted on doing it herself. I caved, and we began the unpleasant task. Following Takumi-san's example, I removed the door and placed his body on it. Chiemi and I each took an end of the door and lifted it up. He was as heavy as he looked, and I wouldn't have been surprised if this was too much even for two men. However, Chiemi lifted her side without letting out a single grunt of exertion. It felt like active rejection of the idea that she might need help. We slowly began walking. Kyonosuke was outside. He was anxious about something. It didn't look like he was waiting for us, so maybe Rikaku and Matsu hadn't come out yet? I couldn't afford to stop and chat. Relaxing my arms or lower body could lead to me dropping Takumi-san. I kept walking forward without a single word. Sighing and stopping was our sign that one of us needed to rest. Every time one of us did, we lowered him to the ground, rubbed our aching hands, adjusted our grips, and resumed walking. As we approached the cliff, Chiemi's expression grew darker.
匠兄ちゃんは安水で一番年の近いお兄ちゃんだったから。
Yes, I could get that from how you address him. I wasn't gonna ask how that mattered. I didn't see a point in questioning it. I simply nodded, continuing to play the role of audience.
昔はいっぱい遊んでくれたし、怒られた時はかばってく
I'm
れた。
guessing with how violent you can be, Chiemi, that happened a lot.
うん。
こんな何もない湿っぽい場所だけど、匠兄ちゃんは安水を
Yeah, you can
ここに住む
You
人
can
を
tell there was a
愛してて
desperation to the way, Takumi wanted to defend and protect everyone in the village.
そうだね。わかるよ。
まっすぐな人だった。
うん。
捨てたくないよ。
ああ。当然だと思う。
It's not like you guys have a
僕だってこん
choice.
なやり方はしたくない。やめる？このやり方にこだわりそうなのは、匠さん本人とタイさんくらいしかいないんじゃないの？
しなきゃダ
Yeah,
メ。
Takumi would have wanted you to do it.
汚れか。
If we're not just gonna talk about the corruption, but if Takumi did this for everyone else, then that meant he believed in something about the action that he's doing. So not giving him the same kind of respect as he did the others, that is, well, it's disrespectful for once, and I don't think that Takumi would be happy if you just leave his body or his corpse right there. I continued asking if she was sure, but she didn't change her mind, so we ended up throwing his body into Saranaga. We walked through the graveyard, careful not to trip. We could now see the hanging pine through the mist. Our destination was near. We carefully closed in on the cliff and pushed the door toward it.
さよなら、匠兄ちゃん。
You would have to wonder if the Takumi's death would trigger something in Chiemi, considering how close Chiemi is, and as she had stated, with Takumi. She said that right as I felt the body slide off. It was falling. I'd done this several times now, but it still made me feel empty. It would eventually hit the water, make a splash, and that'd be it. Huh?
水音した？
What?
さあ、
What just happened?
聞き違いか？
あるいは、皿長の底が抜けて、黄泉の国に繋がってるのかも。
That would be something.
本当にファンタジーだね。
霧の向こうに何があるか、誰も知らない。誰も証明できない。
Yeah, that's true.
今から降りてみせようか。
あなたは帰ってこない。
How would you know? That was how she saw the world.
戻ろう。
You guys are not even gonna check? What's up, Dreamer Tribe? What's up, world? I am Bianca, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content of this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button to let me know. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to be a part of the Dreamer Tribe, just hit on that subscribe button. We also have tons of different content here on my channel, so be sure to check those out. Until the next video, dream on, fly on.